Imagine the country you live in being hit by less and less fertile soil, making crop growing increasingly difficult.
Sandstorm conditions prevail in the Indian capital, and now there are fears of early desertification of the region.
Desertification and erosion are both concerns.
Soil is the habitat upon which zillions of lives thrive. Because of that thriving life, everything grows. We eat food, other animals grow, everything happens because soil is rich. Once there is no richness in soil, then you have forsaken the planet in many ways. We talk of carbon, we talk of emissions, we talk of pollution at various levels. Before all that, we need to address the most important concern, because there is a misunderstanding in the world. There is a campaign to project civic issues as environmental issues. Right now, if plastic bags are floating around in New York City, this is not an ecological issue, this is a civic issue. If our rivers are polluted, this can be fixed. In 1 or 2 years, if you set up the necessary purification plants and enforce the law, these are civic issues which can be fixed with a little bit of law enforcement and awareness. But the real issue is soil.
The United Nations agencies with enough scientific data, they're clearly saying that we have soil, agricultural soil for another 80 to 100 crops on the planet. This is 45 to 60 years is what we have agricultural soil. We are calling this as soil extinction. You've heard of dinosaurs going extinct, you have heard of dodos going extinct, but this is soil extinction is what we are looking at. The real problem is soil extinction because in the last 30 years, 80% of the biomass insects have disappeared from the planet, 80%. This is a suicide, this is a real suicide.
So in 45 years' time or 50 years' time, there will be serious food crisis on the planet, it's inevitable. When food crisis comes, well, whoever has the biggest guns will come and take the food. And the chaos and the suffering that we will create for populations around the world is unimaginable. Don't think only the poor people will die. They will kill the rich and rich will die. So this is not to paint a dark picture. This is a reality which has happened many times in our history, and once again it is being predicted by top scientists in the world. So what are we going to do?
There is a fine line between imagination and reality, and we all walk through it within feelings, thinking, and actions. Fantasies are connected to inner narratives that build themselves through life. We all transform our perception from unconsciousness to awareness. We all create a self-image that drives us into our actions. The subjective projection of me, feedback concerning others and the environment. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Human nature is fragile and, at the same time, holds the power of being creators, the ability to imagine something and make it a reality is innate to the human spirit. Being aware is the journey that humans are destined to. We all live to die. Please don't search for intellectual logic here, because we talk the language of the unknown. The journey is within. We will walk tonight through the unconscious mind. Don't resist. Don't flow with the moon. It will flow with the moon. The mind is a stage of infinite possibilities. A deep breath to make inner silence. Everything will reflect and transform you within. To have a peaceful world, we need to start within the self. Who am I? Indeed, being in the world is a great mystery, and I always think about it. People tell me that I overthink, I think about it, and in the end, I realize that maybe it's not enough. Ugh, stop overthinking. It is against our nature. But what is a thought? My emotions hide behind my thoughts, experiences, truths, and the lies that I tell to myself are hidden behind my feelings. When I look at others, I can only see a reflection of who I am. Assumed knowledge allows me to grow and move in this time given to me, which I never asked for. Life is a profound thought. I always think about it. And I also think that a thought is much more than words that run through my head. A thought contains images, memories, expectations, emotions, and actions. And it is my actions that tell my deepest thoughts. Ideas that I don't know to have hide in the depths of my body. The truth shows itself when The truth shows itself in the way I hold my face, my legs, and how I open my arms to others. Because I feel the deepest fears, anger, and insecurities in the encounter with the other. The other becomes the mirror of my thoughts, fears, and emotions. I cannot ignore the other, because the human experience tells of itself in the collective encounter, in the story we build for ourselves by meeting others. Love is the answer. But an answer alone, without context and question, it is not enough to have the certainties I am looking for. Defining love and what love is, it is responsibility of each individual who chooses to give what they know about love in the encounter with the other. What is a thought, if not the roots of the environment I create to increase the need to define who I am? Most of my actions unconsciously aim to open a theatre for my character, to have enough space to give life to my drama. The difference between the wise and the foolish is knowing that this is the human limit. Learning how to recognize the characters that I stage day by day allows me to root my being in this universe deeply, made of dreams and fears. My emotions hide behind my thoughts, experiences, truths, and the lies that I tell to myself are hidden behind my feelings. When I look at others, I can only see a reflection of who I am. When I look at others, I can only see a reflection of who I am. When I look at others, reflection, I am. Reflection, who I am. Of who I am. The safety of an answer doesn't give a sense of the whole picture. An answer alone doesn't reflect a functioning or healthy behavior. If you ask someone, "How did you get chlamydia?" love will be the answer. This is not about being judgmental of other people's behavior. We are all on a journey to discover how to become ourselves. I am just questioning if the ideas commonly shared in this time are functioning for me. At the end of the day, I am the only person who matters to me. A troubled relationship with gods made us believe that love is the answer. With life, I have realized that love is not made of just sparkle and softness, but also spikes and tears. A cage where the joy of being freed from personal inhibition quickly becomes the space for humiliation. On which side do I want to be? People have their own shadow on the other side of my ego. That biological rhythm that leads my body with life. It's also a matter of individual meaning. Flirt is a game of power. They are not interested in me. They want to feel big for themselves. I am highly attracted to them. A narcissist, good-looking, extremely authoritarian. Fear, a game of power. Love is the answer. The desire, the immense desire that is stuck in my body is there, ready to be consumed, ready to be loved. Finally, liberate. Please love me forever. It was 1915, and you fell in Trieste, in the hands of a war that you had not chosen. They called him to duty. She was left alone in her thoughts, a small woman and her love, in the strength of her sorrow. She wrapped her breast milk in anger. They were feeding on her resentment. A small rose with a red coat. Small woman wrapped in black. Your face was covered with hunger. In your heart, you carried the lost memory of the love that you have known alone. The war has marked our history, and alive returns to memory. Peasant life was simple, but rigor punished the joy of a child that knew nothing of what was, but everything returned in a missed love. I've always been myself. I have always been listening to what I knew about myself at that time and in that place. Since I was born, I've always been myself. I've always listened to what I know about myself in time and place, concerning everything around me, but always within myself. Since I was born, I've always been myself. I like being with others, as long as I have the space to be myself. Because I occupy a logical space, the space I need to be myself. The others also occupy a logical space that serves to be themselves, but it is certainly not as crucial as mine, because my space is mine. There was a time when I believed in love, but then you hurt me because you did not respect what I expected from love, and you closed your arms, opening an eternal wound inside me. The space it takes to be me. If it's love, it shouldn't hurt in a logical space that serves to be us. For me, it is certainly not so essential to be us. If I can't be myself,
If you can excuse me. There will be a time where I will no longer have flesh on my bones, and I will be nourishment for the ground.
love ultimately puts us in front of our limits. Everything moves before our eyes in the infinite space of a circle, in the area created to love. But then you grow up and watch Tears of Prose, which has created a new vision of what remains. Because love perhaps becomes more critical in the end. When we could see our shadows colliding for their desire, when love took a new name, when there was nothing left but to leave behind that time gone. Because life is made of light and shadows, and it is in the shadows we will listen, in search of the light that nourished everything.
Why is soil going away? Where is it going away? See, what is sand becomes soil if you add organic content to it. What is soil becomes sand if you take away all the organic content from it. If you go into a rainforest, the organic content in the soil will be over 70%. In normal agricultural soil, the minimum organic content that has to be there to call soil soil is 3 to 6%. 3% is the most minimum. But today, for example, in India, 62% of India's soil, the organic content is 0.5% or below that. So literally we are on the verge of desertification. This is across the world, this is not in one country. In United States, the way the land has been used in terms of herbicides, weedicides, pesticides, well, we need to understand nearly 82 to 86% of biodiversity is within the first 12 inches of topsoil. When we plow with machines like tractors plow to a depth of 9 to 12 inches and leave it open, this means we are destroying the biodiversity completely. What biodiversity means is, it's the humus in the soil. The word human comes from the word humus. That means this is actually living soil.
So it's very, very important that soil becomes the focus, because if you put 1/3 to 40% of the land, especially in the tropical world, under tree shade, your climate change could be easily reversed. Land is getting hot simply because it is plowed or it is paved. Land has to go under vegetation, whatever kind, natural grasses, bushes, trees, whatever, because all these are serving the ecological activity. And we must also understand soil is a very significant carbon sink, and soil is the largest water soak on the planet, and soil is the basis of all life. This 36 to 39 inches of topsoil on average around the planet is the basis of 87% of life on this planet. To keep the biodiversity alive is the most important thing that we need to do right now. Unless we start now, this will not happen. As a part of this, we are unfolding a movement called Conscious Planet to bring maximum number of people. Right now, it looks like climate change, ecology, all these are playground for the rich and elite. No, this must change. Individual human beings should become conscious about the danger that we are facing. Ecological issues must become election issues, and political parties must give significance to ecological issues in their manifestos. Governments must be elected for their concern for ecological issues. This needs to happen.
So we are seeing how to bring about a policy recommendation for 192 countries. The rally is starting on 21st of March, which is the equinox day in London. And from London, it's a single lone motorcycle riding through 24 countries, 30,000 kilometers, reaching the Kaveri basin where we are on ground working in a river basin which is 83,000 square kilometers, and 5.2 million farmers work here.
The very body that we carry is soil. Without soil being rich and well, this body and every other life cannot be well. So in terms of ecology, in terms of climate change, the most important thing is that we need to have a conscious approach as to how we manage our soil, how we rejuvenate our soil, how we revitalize our soil. This conscious approach and creating a conscious planet is what is most important. Without involving large mass of people, this will not become a reality, because we are democratic nations. Unless people say this is what they want, that is not going to happen. So let's create a conscious planet. Let us make it happen.
More than guilt, we talk about responsibility. In that instant, I did nothing but ask for love. more than guilt, we talk about responsibility. Because I was insensitive to your requests. But your actions demanded that we continue our blindness. Because otherwise, it couldn't have been us. Nothing was taken away except the space to overcome ourselves. More than guilt, we talk about responsibility. Because, after all, we all have something to hide. Something to be ashamed of. Something we feel profound attachment. Something we feel profound attachment to. We are talking about us more than guilt. Because when I feel that it is your fault, perhaps it is also time to ask myself what my responsibility is. Because when I feel it is my fault, then I will ask myself, what is made of the space to build a bridge? Because then in the space that we allow ourselves to be ourselves, we must listen and reflect on the distance of the other. Only in this way, love is the answer. Because love is made above with profound thinking, who feeds the soul through actions. With actions, we leave behind the scent of the autumn sea. Because I love you, it is not enough to build a life together. Let us make it happen.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. This very body is soil. My body, your body, everybody is just soil body.
It was never a problem. It was always just a choice. Love is the answer, but the question keeps changing. The skin of my ego transforms. I can change. I can learn. I will take responsibility.
The magic of soil is it turns death into life.
My fears are not my limits, because I know it has never been a problem, but only a choice. Unconscious choices. Biology inside me. I will not be afraid to smile, and if love is the answer, it will be in the grace of our choices.
Depleted soils will not quench the fire of hunger. Unquenched hunger can burn the very world. This is a generational responsibility. Save soil. Let's make it happen.
When I look at others, I can only see a reflection of who I am. I look at others, I can only see a reflection of who I am. When I look